Noswaith dda, gyfeillion, a chroeso I seremoni gyflwyno Gwobre Cystadleuaeth Sgiliau Cymru. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Skills Competition Wales Celebration Event 2022, where we'll recognise and celebrate the commitment, hard work and achievements of learners, providers and employers who are setting the gold standard in education and training. This is the second year we have decided to deliver this celebration online, but we are doing things differently this year and you can still get involved. Firstly, please make sure to share with us how you're celebrating tonight's show via Instagram and Twitter using the hashtag SEW22 and following us at ISE in Wales. We are also virtually partnering with 6 venues to help us with tonight's awards. 6 venues. These venues are Cardiff and Vale College and ACT Training, Bridgend College, NPTC Group of Colleges, Coleg Sgiliau and Coleg Digwyddiad, Grŵp Llandrillo Menai and Coleg Cambria. Give us a wave.
Hello, pawb! Woo! As well as awarding the prizes tonight, lots of you are also holding your own watch parties. We hope you all have a great time. As usual, we'll be hosting the event this evening bilingually. If you're watching online, you can access the Welsh translation by going to the interpretation icon on the bottom toolbar, the one that looks like a globe, and clicking on it. You will then be able to choose your preferred language. We'll also use the Welsh language here and there throughout the evening, making sure that everyone knows exactly what's going on over the next couple of hours. Rwan ta, dwi'n gobeithio eich bod chi wedi cael cyfle I weld a chyfarfod rhai o'r 1,100 o gystadleuwyr o bob cwr o Gymru, rhai o'n nhw sydd wedi ennill gwobr aur, arian neu efydd yng Nghystadleuaeth Sgiliau Cymru.
Gan gynrychioli amrywiaeth eang o sectorau, mae pob un o'n cystadleuwyr yn dangos yr effaith gadarnhaol mae'r rhaglenni addysg a hyfforddiant yn cael eich fusnesau, dysgwyr a'r economi yng Nghymru. Heno, fe glywch chi am lwyddiant a fydd yn ysbrydoledig iawn a byddwn ni'n cydnabod y bobl sy'n helpu greu gweithlu o safon uchaf yng Nghymru. Ond cyn I ni ddechrau, dosbarthu'r gwobre, rydyn ni'n mynd I gymryd ychydig o amser I fyfyrio ar y flwyddyn diweddara. Yma I roi y groeso persona ni, mae Paul Evans, Llys Genad, Sgiliau Cymru a chyfarwyddwr prosiect ysbrydoli ragoriaeth Sgiliau yng Nghymru.
Croeso, welcome to this evening's celebration event. I'm quite proud to say that we are gathered tonight to celebrate the best of the best in Wales. We were quite lucky this year, exceeded our expectations again, with 1,100 learners registering to participate. In 61 skill areas were successfully delivered. This would not be possible without the support of our appointed competition organising partners in working behind the scenes to ensure the fairness to all and the delivery of a successful cycle. So a big round of applause must go to our competition organising partners. In addition to that, you've got the support, continued support of Welsh Government. In 2014, our Skills Ambassador Network, the backbone to our success in Wales, identified a need to benchmark, to strive for excellence, which in turn will lead to a strong economy. This was supported by Welsh Government and has continued to drive and strive for excellence. So again, a big thank you there. So poor luck. I hope you're all winners tonight, but please remember, we're here to celebrate the best of the best. But you're all in the best category, but we're here to identify the gold winners, silver medal winners and bronze medal winners. Pob luck, diolch yn fawr, go Team Wales.
Da iawn, Paul.
Diolch, Paul. Be oedd teitl cyfa, Paul, eto?
Ti'n barod yma? Llys Genad, Sgiliau Cymru a chyfarwyddwr prosiect ysbrydoli ragoriaeth Sgiliau yng Nghymru.
Waw.
Ti'n meddwl mwyn ar TV, e?
Ti'n meddwl bod yn gallu ffitio ar ei ddrws o?
Neu beth am Tinder, e?
Ooh, rhy bell. Skills Competition Wales is funded by the Welsh Government through the Inspiring Skills Excellence in Wales project and supported by a dedicated network of colleagues, work-based learning providers and employer-led organisations. Thank you all. But why competitions? Well, they raise the profile of skills in Wales and offer students, trainees and apprentices a chance to challenge, benchmark and raise their skills by taking part in a series of local vocational skills competitions across a range of sectors. Over the past 2 years, COVID-19 has continued to affect us all, with many significant changes to our lifestyles and the way we operate. This year's competitions were affected by the latest measures, but we have not let this deter us.
No.
In 2022, we had over 1,100 entries in Skills Competition Wales, and with the support of our partners across Wales, 61 competitions were delivered, which is a fantastic achievement. Amir and myself were able to get out to some of the colleges and meet some students. We were able to see what they do and even try our hand at some of the skills.
Tried.
No, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today without the opportunities I've had given by Skills Competition Wales and World Skills.
It propelled me by allowing me to learn skills that I wouldn't have learned, taught me things that helped me in my professional career.
Although there was immense pressure, I think that there was definitely, a sense of achievement at the end of the day. That was the best part about it.
That first day when I stepped onto the competition stage, I then realised that this is what I wanted to do.
Achos mae wedi definitely helpu fi I ddatblygu fy hyder ac mae wedi agor nifer o ddrysau I mi I fy ngyrfa yn barod. A dwi jyst mor ddiolchgar I gael y gyfle I gystadlu dros fy ngwlad.
It's been a massive confidence boost for me to be able to push my boundaries, to progress a lot further than probably what I would have done.
Push, do the competitions, and you will succeed. It'll propel you so far in your careers you can't even imagine. You'll end up at places you would have never thought possible.
We'd like to thank all of you on screen this evening. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to celebrate the awards like this. Diolch yn fawr iawn I chi gyd. Remember, we want to see your awards setup this evening, whether you're in your front room, dressed in your best, or sat around the kitchen table with your family. We want to see how you're celebrating. Take a photo and tag us using SEW on Instagram and Twitter. Don't forget to follow us on ISE in Wales, and we'll be sharing some of the best bits throughout the night. Enough of the introduction, let's get down to the main reason we're all here tonight and start the prizes.
Yn gyntaf, mae'r categori TG a Menter. O ddiweddaru eich statws Facebook, uwch lwytho lluniau i'r cwmwl neu deimlo'n ddiogel ar-lein. Mae bron popeth da ni'n ei wneud yn cynnwys gweithwyr proffesiynol, technoleg, wybodaeth a chyfathrebu TGEch sy'n gweithio y tu ôl i'r llenni. Yma yng Nghymru mae gennym ni seilwaith TGEch o radd Flaena sy'n cyflogi dros 45,000 o bobl yn y sector ac yn cyfrannu dros 8 biliwn y flwyddyn I economi Cymru. Yn y sector yma, fe wnaethon ni gyflwyno 9 cystadleuaeth leni efo dros 180 o gofrestradau. Mae'n amser rwan I ni gydnabod y dalent honno.
So, let's get started with the first category for IT and Enterprise, which is Coding Skills. Here are the nominees for the coding category. Coding is a specialist skill where programmers take instructions and translate them into binary, which enables humans to communicate directly with computers. The Bronze Award winner is Rhys Watkins, NPTC Group of Colleges.
The Silver Award goes to Jack Thomas, Cardiff and Vale College.
And tonight's first Gold Award winner is Aneurin Thomas, St David's College. Llongyfarchiadau, da iawn chi.
Da iawn. A'r wobr nesaf ar gyfer TG a Menter yw Seiber Ddiogelwch. Gadewch I ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei henwebu. Mae ffrwydrad Seiber Ddiogelwch a'r heriau sy'n wynebu'r llywodraeth a'r diwydiant yn golygu bod galw enfawr am weithwyr TG proffesiynol medrus yn y sector yma. The Bronze Award goes to John Paul Harrison and Raymond Guy from Coleg y Cymoedd.
Silver is awarded to Conran Caffery and Jacob Stelmach from Coleg Cambria.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is Manavjit Singh and Anthony Gleeson from Bridgend College. Llongyfarchiadau, congratulations to you all.
Now, on to category 3 for IT and Enterprise. Let's check out the nominations. Network security covers a wide selection of technologies, devices and processes. It is a set of rules and configurations that protects the integrity, confidentiality and accessibility of computer networks and data using both software and hardware technologies. Bronze has been won by Heather Curtis-Rich from Cardiff and Vale College.
Silver is awarded to James Frew from University of Wales Trinity St David's.
And the mighty gold award winner for network security this evening is Cameron Thompson from Coleg Cambria. Llongyfarchiadau, congratulations everyone.
Now for category 4 for IT and enterprise. IT software solutions for business. Let's look at the nominations. IT software solutions staff work in the IT department of an organisation, providing support as application specialists. The Bronze Award goes to Ben White of Coleg Cambria.
Silver is awarded to Chavez Khan, Coleg Gwent.
And the Gold Award winner is Cerys Jenkins, Coleg Gwent. Llongyfarchiadau mawr iawn, Cerys, and congratulations to all of our winners so far.
Y wobr nesaf heno yw technegydd cymorth TG. Gadewch ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei enwebu. Mae technegwyr cymorth TG yn hanfodol I waith busnesau o ddydd I ddydd yn y byd sydd ohoni. Roddwyd y dasg I gystadleuwyr ddatrys problemau technegol a chynarrydwaith, meddalwedd ac offer cyfrifiadurol cwmni. The Bronze Award goes to Lewis Hart, Coleg y Cymoedd, and Eric Brown, ALS Training.
Silver is awarded to Chloe Owens, Coleg Cambria.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is Zach Morris, Coleg y Cymoedd. Llongyfarchiadau.
Now let's carry on with the next category for IT and enterprise. Let's look at the nominations. ICT technicians provide assistance to various members of the IT department, carrying out tasks such as copy typing and formatting text and data. The Bronze Award goes to Joshua Tozer, Coleg Gwent.
Silver is awarded to Holly Davis, NPTC Group of Colleges.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is Emily Jones, Pembrokeshire College. Llongyfarchiadau mawr iawn. Well done, everyone.
Da iawn. While we're talking about IT, don't forget to show us how you're celebrating tonight. We want to see it all, don't we, Mary?
We're very nosy.
Get the glam on the Instagram and Twitter using the hashtag. Do you remember the hashtag?
SCW22.
Nice. And following us at ISC in Wales.
Some of you have already been tweeting and getting in touch. Can we take a look at the social media wall?
What have we got?
Oh, Cerys Rees here, watching SCW22 Awards. Oh, look, there's a screen grab of me. Thanks, Cerys. Hope you're having a great time. That's enough from us here at the studio for now. So for the remaining awards in this sector, we'll be handing over to ACT Training. ACT's mission is quite simply to improve lives through learning. All 340 plus members of staff are extremely passionate about making a positive difference to people's lives by providing excellent learning programs and opportunities. From traineeships, apprenticeship and higher apprenticeships to employability training and short commercial courses, ACT provide a long list of training programs and qualifications that really help people reach their full potential. Hello, ACT! Give me a wave, don't be shy! And welcome to Richard Spears, Managing Director and ACT's Skills Ambassador, Jonathan Davies, OBE, who will be presenting the awards this evening with us. So, onwards we go. Ein categori nesa ar gyfer TG a Menteryw. Hello, Jonathan!
Hi, John.
Hiya! Ti'n edrych yn smart iawn?
Diolch yn fawr.
Cyfrifeg, felly gadewch i ni weld I ddechrau pwy sydd wedi cael I henwebu. Mae cyfrifwyr yn hynod ddawnus pan ddaw hi at rifa. Maen nhw'n helpu busnesau I redeg eu gweithrediadau ariannol yn effeithlon. Rhoddwyd y dasg I gystadleuwyr ar gyfres o drafodion a rheolaethau cadw cyfrifon. Firstly, it's over to you, Jonathan. Please tell us who the winners are.
I've got to face that way because the cameras are. We're not being rude, okay? But you've got my best side anyway, so don't worry about it, right? Right, then the Bronze Awards, Accountancy, Timothy Jackson, Tara Williams and James Holman, Group Llandrillo Menai and Bennett Brooks Chartered Accountants. That's bronze, well done. And silver, Accountancy, Philip Parsons, Anna Williams-Hayes and Jonathan Barrow, NPTC Group, Audit Wales, Admiral EUI Limited. And now, gold, the Gold Award, Accountancy, Hilary Davis, Darren Jones and Catherine Round, Group Llandrillo Menai. And also Sarah Maricia McQueen, Ricky O'Callaghan, Stephanie Watkins, ACT training and ALS training. Diolch yn fawr.
Thank you. Diolch yn fawr, Jonathan. Jonathan, yn gweud diolch i ti. Waw, fi'n offi rygbi wyn y ti.
O'n i yn open side flanker nôl yn
Big
ysgol.
hit. Wow. Well, Jonathan, don't go away just yet, as we will be back with you shortly. The next category is Inclusive Skills Customer Service. Let's look at the nominations. Customer service, which is new this year, spans across many sectors, and this competition covers the skills and knowledge needed to work in a customer service focused role. For this award, we are going to go back to the ACT and ask Richard Spear of ACT to present this prize.
Good evening. Did somebody call Jonathan Davis an outside flanker then? Anyway, so on to the Bronze Award in this category. And I'm delighted to announce it goes to Cian Davis, ACT training. Right, moving on to the silver. Okay, the winner of the silver award is Risto Atanesov of Merthyr Tydfil College. And here we go, the big one, the gold award, and it goes to Cavan Cox, ACT training.
Diolch yn fawr iawn. Oh, well done. And now on to the final category within the IT and enterprise sector, and that is Enterprise. Let's look at the nominations. Enterprise is a team competition designed to challenge the entrepreneurial skills of all participants. Competitors were tasked with developing and putting into practice a variety of skills, including creativity and innovation, problem solving, communication and presentation skills. For the final time tonight, we ask Jonathan of ACT to present this prize. Over to you, Jonathan.
Yeah, Mari, I think you said you played flanker. That's what you said. And I've been called a flanker many times by a lot of people, but there we are. Right, Bronze Award, Enterprise, Ruby Booth, Kellen Jones, James Stephen, Joe Tomlinson and Mia Williams, Coleg Cambria. Silver Award Enterprise, Emily Law, Casey Porter, Taylor Riley, Amelia Skirm and Maddie Wathen, Coleg Gwent. And the big one, Gold Enterprise, Lady Gilbert, Melissa Hall, Esme Thompson, Emily Passmore, Victoria Shumara, St David's College. Thank you very much.
Diolch, Jonathan. Llongyfarchiadau I pawb. Dwi wedi bod yn deud Enterprise. Dyna'n ffordd posh o ddweud hwnna, dwi jyst yn wrong.
Na, mae'n iawn.
Well done to all the competitors in the IT and enterprise sector, and especially tonight's winners. Thank you also to our partners at ACT for helping us award the prizes. Richard, do you have a few words you'd like to say to all the incredible stars this evening?
Congratulations, not just to the winners, but to everybody who's been shortlisted for the award. You've worked incredibly hard, and you should be really proud of yourselves. Not only have tonight's winners fast-forwarded their careers, but they've also inspired other people to get involved in improving their skills, which is fantastic. All the very best for your future. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Richard. Now on to our next sector.
Nesaf, rydyn ni'n canolbwyntio ar y sector cyfryngau a chreadigol. Mae'r diwydiannau creadigol wedi bod yn un o'r rannau o economi Cymru sydd wedi bod yn tyfu gyflymaf ers nifer o flynyddoedd. Mae amrywiaeth y galwedigaethau yn sector hwn yn eang o reolau technegol mewn cyfryngau digidol, y teledu, y theatr neu ffilm i'r celfyddau perfformio a chrefftau mwy traddodiadol. Yn y sector yma, fe wnaethon ni gyflwyno 9 cystadleuaeth eleni gyda dros 170 o gofrestriadau. Waw! Mae'n amser nawr i ni gydnabod y dalent ohono. Pob lwc pawb.
And the first category in media and creative is fashion design and technology. Let's look at the nominations. Fashion designers work in a number of ways in designing clothing and accessories such as bracelets and necklaces. This year, competitors were tasked with using 2 reclaimed white shirts and an item of their choice to develop new and innovative fashion products. The Bronze Award goes to Olivia Lewis, Gower College, Swansea.
Silver is awarded to Karina Migiano, Bridgend College.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is Esther Taylor, Coleg Gwent. Llongyfarchiadau mawr, congratulations to you all.
We now look at Media and Creatives Category 2, Visual Merchandising. Let's have a look at the nominations. A visual merchandiser designs window displays for stores and develops floor plans and displays to highlight their features and benefits. In this competition, the focus was on creativity and understanding of visual merchandising skills. The Bronze Award goes to Lily Atkinson, Coleg Gwent.
Silver is awarded to Beth Hughes, Coleg Sir Gar.
Oh, da iawn, Coleg Sir Gar, my college. And the Gold Award winner this evening is James Rowley, Pembrokeshire College. Llongyfarchiadau pawb.
Nesaf mae categori 3 yn y cyfryngau a chreadigol sef cerddoriaeth bop. Gadewch i ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei henwebu. Mae yna amrywiaeth eang o gerddoriaeth yn llifo drwy'r gystadleuaeth yma efo thîm o unigolion yn ffurfio band ac yn perfformio set fer yn dangos i sgiliau creadigol. The Bronze Award goes to from grŵp Llandrillo Menai, Osian Jones, Benjamin Jones, Alaw Rhys and Simon Richards. And from the Bridgend College, Bethany Dunn, Mia Lane, Sophie Mullins, Jack Thomas, Asher Williams and Lilia Young.
Silver is awarded to Connor Adams, Molly Evans, Jack Evan, Ashton Mortimer, Abby Mottram and Max Pickering from Pembrokeshire College. And from Gower College, Swansea, Hannah Morris, Johan Davis, Casey Lee Millward, Louis Morris and Aaron Williams.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is from Coleg Cambria, Aidan Caulfield, Megan Drysdale, Sam Evans, Vincent Massey, Paige Peel, Jack Taylor and Morgan Wheel. Llongyfarchiadau, well done everyone involved.
Before we hand over to another of our satellite centres, posh? Oh, for the remaining awards in this sector, let's take a look back at some of the talented creative industry specialists in action.
One, two, 3, 4! Thank you very much. See you later.
Oh, back.
Wow, incredible. Now, on with the awards and over to our next satellite centre. Welcome Coleg Sgiliau and Coleg Digwyddiad. Coleg Sgiliau and Coleg Digwyddiad are passionate about learning, and those studying at the college are placed at the very heart of college and everything at the college we do. Oh, college was good to me as well. The college aims to inspire learners, advance their skills and create opportunities to ensure that every individual achieves their potential. The college is part of a dual sector partnership with the University of Wales, Trinity St David. We have two hosts presenting tonight's awards, including Kieran South, British actor and writer, and also Nia Griffiths MP. Croeso i chi. Ein categori nesaf ar gyfer y cyfryngau a chreadigol yw Cynhyrchu cyfryngau digidol. Gadewch ni weld pwy sydd wedi ei henwebu. Mae staff cynhyrchu cyfryngau digidol yn cymryd rhan ym mob cam o brosiect, boed yn raglen, ffilm neu fideo. Eleni roedd disgwyl i gystadleuwyr gyfarwyddo ffilmio a golygu delwedd symudol fer, boed hynny'n ffuglen, yn ffeithiol, yn animeiddiad, graffig symud, cerddoriaeth neu fideo hyrwyddo. Nia Griffiths, draw at y ti. Pwy yw'r enillwyr?
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to keep you waiting because I've got to pull this out of an envelope. I don't know what they did with theirs. I imagine they had auto cue. So, the Bronze Award for Digital Media Production goes to Thomas Bowie, Henry Hempelman, Ellis White and Donovan Wilshaw of Pembrokeshire College. Well done all. And the Silver Award goes to Iga Schroeder, Coleg Cambria. And finally, the Gold Award goes to Ethan Abraham, Dullingoff, Hanny Monahowd, Jared Sullivan, Cardiff and the Vale College.
Llongyfarchiadau mawr. And the next category is Inclusive Skills Media. Let's look at the nominations. This competition is designed to focus on all the essential skills needed within the digital media industry. This year, competitors demonstrated a variety of creative, technical and vocational skills that are essential within the contemporary creative media industries. Now we've seen the nominees, let's go back to Nia to let us know who tonight's winners are.
Okay, and we will start again with the bronze. And this time we have for bronze in the Inclusive Skills Digital Media, Morgan Burridge, Ashley Hembrow, Jack Morris-Jones of Coleg Cymoedd. And for silver, we have Cellan Conboy, Jacob Hughes and Mabon Tinney from Coleg Sgiliau. And finally for gold, we have Samuel Veal, Sean Warner and Xander Morgan Rowe from Coleg Cymoedd.
Thank you very much, Nia, a llongyfarchiadau. Congratulations. The next category is photography. Let's look at the nominations. Photography is the art of capturing images onto photographic film. This year, competitors were tasked with submitting 5 digital images following the theme of change. Now it's over to you, Kieran, at Coleg Sgiliau. Will you take us through tonight's winners, please?
Yes, indeed. Hello there. Okay, so the Bronze Award goes to Cara Brewer from Pembrokeshire College. And now the silver for photography goes to Claudia Kinosiak, Coleg Cambria. And finally, drum roll, please. Oh, there we are, marvellous, thank you. The gold for photography goes to Organ Nowakovska from Pembrokeshire College.
Oh, clapio da fyna, nag yw e?
Clapio arbennig.
Arbennig, whoa. Nice. Right. Y categori nesaf yn y sector hwn yw Celf Game 3D. Gadewch i ni weld pwy sydd wedi ei henwebu. Mae'r artist game ddigidol 3D yn defnyddio meddalwydd arbunigol i ddynnu lluniau ac animeiddio gemau ddigidol. Mae angen iddyn nhw fod â sgiliau creadigol a thechnegol lefel uchel i sicrhau eu bod nhw'n cyflwyno gêm sy'n dilyn y brief a dilynydd ac y gellir ei farchnata. It's back to Kieran. Can you please announce the winners? Good clap again now, Kieran.
All right, thank you. I'm very good at clapping. So the bronze award goes to Logan Cook from Coleg Gwent. And the silver goes to Melody Ray Woolley, also from Coleg Gwent. And finally, another little drum roll. Very good. The winner is Damien Perusnik from Cardiff and Vale College.
Llongyfarchiadau mawr a diolch Kieran am y clapio cry.
Tipyn o parti dwi'n fyna.
Mae o, dechrau parti. Mae eisiau pawb fwynhau. The next category in the media and creative sector is the award for web design, and these are the nominations. Web designers need highly technical and creative skills to use specialist coding and software applications in the design of websites. Once again, we hand over to Coleg Sirgar. Kieran, can you please announce the winners?
Go on, Kieran.
Thanks, mate. I will. I'll do my best. Okay, so for web design, the bronze award goes to Rhys Llewellyn Holly from Coleg Gwent. The silver award goes to Oliver Smith from MPTC Group. And drum roll, please. Very good. The gold award goes to Gined Mia from NPTC Group. Congratulations all.
That would drum roll then. Good one.
Amir!
Our next award in this sector is for graphic design. Let's look at those nominations. Graphic designers have specialist skills to design and handle images and text across a wide range of contexts, from print to digital and UX design, posters to motion graphics and animation. For the last time tonight, we will ask Kieran Self to announce tonight's winners. Last drum roll.
Yeah. Oh, parting is such sweet sorrow. So the bronze award for graphic design goes to Mirren Harvey from Pembrokeshire College. The silver award goes to Alfie Waters from Pembrokeshire College. And yes, drum roll please. The gold award goes to Bethany Boniol from the Gower College, Swansea. Da iawn.
Llongyfarchiadau mawr, and thank you to all our presenters. Kieran, how's the party there at Coleg Sirgar? You've got some excellent drum rolling going on, some clapping. What about the partying?
Well, we've got a DJ coming now, and there's I think the foam party has started about 10 minutes.
Wow! We need to get on that.
Well, as soon as we finish, we're heading back.
It's all kicking off down here, isn't it? Yeah.
And that is the final category in this sector. Now, on to the next sector.
Mae'r sector adeiladu yn chwarae rhan annatod yn sefydlogrwydd economaidd Cymru, gan gyflogi mwy na 100,000 o weithwyr mewn rolau sy'n amrywio o rolau adeiladu traddodiadol ar y safle i rolau gwasanaethau proffesiynol fel cynllunwyr, penseiri a syrfewyr. Ar draws y 10 cystadleuaeth yn y sector yma, gawson ni dros 190 yn cofrestru eleni, a heno da ni'n dathlu gwaith caled bob un o'r dysgwyr yma. Rwan ymlaen â ni i ddyfarnu'r enillydd ar gyfer pob un o gategoriau'r gystadleuaeth. Pob lwc i chi gyd.
The skills competitions Wales have begun across the country. In here, we've got plumbing, painting and decorating. And then, this is the main one. We've got carpentry. And I'm going to be getting stuck in, and I'm here to have a go.
Ready, good. Good, llinell ar ôl. Ready, mae hwnna'n ymdrech eitha da. Don't give up your day job.
Bricklayer next. Now I do remember this one, so I'm going to give it a go and see how we get on. Right, first things first, lay the bed. That was an awful bed. Just slap it on. I don't get it. Oh, look at that. Perfect. First time. Look at that. Do you see those skills there? That's what it took to become a presenter. Thank you, Amford College. Let's look at the nominees. This is a new competition aimed at school-ages learners who wish to progress further into the construction industry. The competition focused on carpentry and brickwork and was made up of 3 specific tasks designed to challenge their ability and knowledge. The Bronze Award goes to Dion Williams, Ysgol Gyfun Maes y Gwendraeth, Ysgol fi.
Oh, shout out. Silver is awarded to Osian Roberts, Ysgol Gyfun Maes y Gwendraeth.
Da iawn, Ysgol Maes y Gwendraeth. And the Gold Award winner this evening is Jack Morgan, Coetca Comprehensive School. Llongyfarchiadau, well done all involved.
And the second competition to be awarded in the construction and infrastructure competition is Inclusive Skills Horticulture. Let's look at the nominations. Horticulturists are trained to maintain gardens and are involved in designing and planting containers, hanging baskets and borders. The competitors were required to complete various elements of soft landscape, which included bed preparation, design and planting of a raised border or a hanging basket.
The Bronze Award goes to George Sgiliau, Pembrokeshire College, and Peter Petrov, Cardiff and Vale College.
Silver is awarded to Mark Swift, Coleg Cambria.
Oh, he swiftly snatched that one. And the Gold Award winner this evening is Sean Davis, Coleg Gwent, Llongyfarchiadau.
Da iawn, and the next category tonight is Inclusive Skills Woodwork. Let's look at the nominations. Woodworkers are skilled craftsmen that prepare, cut, fit and assemble wood for various projects, both commercial and residential. In this competition, competitors are required to measure and cut to produce some basic joints to create a box with a lid.
The Bronze Award goes to Stuart Purdue, Coleg Sir Gar.
Silver is awarded to Ethan Lloyd, Coleg Cambria.
And the main award, gold winner this evening, is Harry Hallam Pryderch, Coleg Cambria. Well done to all involved. Llongyfarchiadau mawr.
Congratulations. Now the next category tonight is electrical installation. Let's look at the nominees. An electrician installs, repairs and maintains electrical systems and equipment, keeping them running efficiently and effectively. In this competition, competitors had to carry out an electrical installation task designed to challenge their ability to follow drawings, work accurately and safely at all times. The Bronze Award goes to Patrick Carbis, Cardiff and Vale College.
Silver is awarded to J. Davis, Merthyr College.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is Christy Gale, Coleg Sir Gar. Llongyfarchiadau mawr, well done, all involved.
Nesaf, mae plymio. Gadewch ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei enwebu. Mae plymwyr yn aelodau hanfodol i'r tîm adeiladu. Maen nhw'n arbenigo mewn gosod a chynnal a chadw systemau sy'n cael ei ddefnyddio ar gyfer dŵr poeth ac oer, gres a glan gweithdra. Roedd y tasg gosod i gystadleuwyr i ddilyn llun a marcio, ffigio a gosod pibellau yn gywir. The Bronze Award goes to Morgan Howell, Gower College, Swansea.
Silver is awarded to Daniel Blue, Coleg Sir Gar.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is Tiffany Baker, Grŵp Llandrillo Menai, llongyfarchiadau enfawr.
Now on to the painting and decorating competition. Let's look at the nominations. Painters and decorators are one of the most in-demand construction trades. They have a wide range of skills and techniques ranging from house renovations to painting bridges, and use a variety of systems and finishes such as stencils, colour, glaze, graining and lettering. The Bronze Award goes to Shane Ellis, Coleg Sir Gar.
Silver is awarded to Jack Williams, Merthyr College.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is Cara Taylor, Cardiff and Vale College. Llongyfarchiadau, well done to you all. Now that's enough from us at the studio. We'll be handing over to another of our satellite centres for the remaining awards in this sector. Hello, MPTC Group of Colleges.
Hello.
Hello, pawb. Hi all. Oh, posh, fancy. MPTC Group of Colleges is a thriving further education college that has 9 campuses across Wales. They stretch from the picturesque coast in the south through the beautiful mountains in mid-Wales and onto the lush green pastures in the north. From Swansea, Neath, Port Talbot to Brecon and Newtown, they deliver courses in every conceivable area to students, businesses and the community. They employ professional and dedicated teaching staff who also deliver the highest standards of education and training and are the driving force of their success. They have a wealth of experience and have not only built a strong reputation in the UK, but also on an international level, where programmes have been delivered overseas in China and India. This year, the college celebrates 90 years excellence in education and training. Mark Dacey, Principal and CEO of MPTC Group of Colleges, will be presenting the awards this evening, and our next category for construction and infrastructure is brickwork.
Brickwork, you say? I specialise in that one if you saw the video, in the last video. Let's look at the nominations. A bricklayer is a very skilled person in their work and can either be part of a large crew on a building site or work alone on smaller projects. They work with bricks, pre-cut stone and concrete blocks to build internal, external wall structures for buildings, gardens, driveways, etc. Mark, can you please tell us who the winners are?
And the bronze medal for brickwork goes to Delmy Price, Merthyr College. And the silver medal for brickwork goes to Callum Mays at Bridgend College. And the gold medal for brickwork goes to Samuel Newman-Jones at Coleg Gwent.
Diolch yn fawr iawn a llongyfarchiadau. Ie wir, y categori nesaf heno ydy plastro. Gadewch i ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei henwebu. Mae'r plastrwr yn allweddol mewn unrhyw brosiect adeiladu gan ei fod yn gwneud y waliau a'r nenfydan llyfn yn barod ar gyfer ei haddurno neu ddiogelu'r tu allan rhag y tywydd. Rhoddwyd tasga i gystadleuwyr i herio'u sgiliau ar gymysgu a defnyddio plastar a gosod mouldiau ffibr. Gair da, ffibr.
Ffibr.
It's back to you, Mark, to announce the winners.
Thank you very much, Mary. And the bronze medal for plastering goes to Jack Holmes, MPTC Group of Colleges. And the silver medal for plastering goes to Thomas Lohan Rogers of Coleg Cambria. And the gold medal for plastering goes to Tristan Holmes, NPTC Group of Colleges, and Helps John Jones from Group Llandrillo Menai.
Bendigedig pawb. Mark yn edrych yn smart iawn.
Parti'n dechrau fan'na wan.
Da iawn, fi'n mynd nôl I nith nawr. Coleg cigar. Now, on to the next category for the construction and infrastructure sector, the carpentry competition. Carpenters are highly skilled craftsmen. They use their skills to cut, fit and assemble wood structures and fittings such as roofs, windows and doors. In this competition, they had to complete a task which challenged their ability to follow drawings, production accurate and neat work output by using different types of timber. I wonder if they'd know, these carpenters, is there more doors or wheels in the world?
Wow, that is a big question.
That's a tough one. I'll have to go back to Nathan and ask him, won't I? Now it's over to you, Mark, at MPTC Group of Colleges. Can you please announce the winners tonight?
Thank you, Ahmed, yeah. And the bronze medal for carpentry goes to DM Evans at Coleg Ceredigion. And the silver medal for carpentry goes to Ben Saunders at Grŵp Llandrillo Menai. And the gold medal for carpentry goes to Paul Cater at Coleg Sir Gar.
Gyfarchiadau mawr I chi gyd a diolch Mark. Now, the last competition in construction and infrastructure tonight is joinery. Let's look at the nominations. Joiners are highly skilled woodworkers. They work with timber to construct doors, windows, fitted furniture and other permanent fixtures within buildings. For the last time then tonight, let's go back to Mark at MPTC Group of Colleges to announce the winners. Over to you, Mark.
Thanks, Mary. And the bronze medal for joinery goes to Tristan Jones at Coleg Ceredigion. And the silver medal for joinery goes to Ian Lewis Jones at Cardiff and Vale College. And the gold medal for joinery goes to Jack James, Cardiff and Vale College. Congratulations.
A dyna grynhoi cystadleuaethau'r sector adeiladu a seilwaith. Da iawn I bawb oedd yn gysylltiedig a llongyfarchiadau i'r holl enillwyr. And thank you to our presenter, Mark. Mark, do you have anything you would like to say to all the amazing young people with us this evening?
Yes, I would just like to say how humbling it is to see the effort that people have put in to develop these skills, and especially as myself coming from a craftsman in the construction industry and working my way to principal of a college, the world's your oyster. But if you've got skills, you will never lose those skills. So fantastic efforts from everyone today. Congratulations from me. Well done, everyone.
Wel, dyna ni hanner ffordd trwyddo ein wobre heno. Hanner ffordd. Felly, beth am I ni gymryd seibiant bach a chlywed gan fyfyrwyr a thiwtor sy'n cymryd rhan yn Cystadleuaethau Sgiliau Cymru. Dewch I ni glywed eu storiau nhw.
How's everything gone for you?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I mean, the students have been amazing. After the last 2 years of the pandemic, you know, to see them doing so well after that, you know, we are so proud of our students.
Because I've never done a competition before, so I was on that and I was a bit sort of nervous doing it. I was like, oh, don't mess up now, don't mess up now.
Mae'n neis I watcho, chwbod, bleser I weld, gwaith nhw'n datblygu dros amser. A chwbod, a'r un peth a pawb chi'n dod I falle elfen gwaith sar, bod sgiliau llaw sy'n mwy o pwysig, a mae rhain heddi'n dangos y ffordd man.
It's not only just something to put on a CV or something, it's a lot of personal experience and making sure that you know that you have the capability.
Mae'r sgiliau maen nhw'n cael allan o cystadleuaethau yma yn well na unrhyw beth arall. Mae'r gwella nhw fatha pobl hefyd, maen nhw'n dysgu sut I ymarfer o dan bwysau, bwysig iawn iddo. Dyna pam dyn ni'n gwthio gymaint ar y cystadleuaethau yma.
It's renowned for being something big, so on my CV I can put down I was just putting down as a participant in it that I was chosen to do this is still huge.
Oeddech chi'n falch bod chi wedi cymryd rhan yn y cystadleuaeth felly?
Oedd
oedd yn cyflawd, doeddwn ni methu troi lawr.
I really enjoy it, gaining knowledge about everything.
And regardless of their position and placement, you know, they're all winners with us here today.
It's amazing to actually win it.
All our practice, all our work on our course has all been finally put to the test.
I think it's quite important because it sort of gets your name out there if you win it, doesn't it? Ready, so if jobs or interviews ask you what have you done, so you know, I've done this well in a competition, it helps to get, you know, employment and stuff like that, I think. So yeah, I think it's quite important, yeah.
Fi'n meddwl am e, ond fi siarad y gorau i mynd at y stage yna, ond gweld os fi gallu.
Ie, a pa fath o brofiad bydde fe'n mynd mas i Ffrainc?
Really profiad dda i wneud hwnna, rhywbeth fel 'na.
I think it's definitely enjoyable. I think there's a lot to take in when it comes to the course, and I think that putting it into practice helps it easier to understand and prepares us more for the world of work.
What would winning this competition mean for you?
It'd be brilliant. It'd be a lot, you know, for me to be able to say that I won this competition.
Wow, what amazing opportunities from these competitions. Remember, your journey doesn't have to stop here, and you can all take the next step forward to World Skills UK competitions. But we'll tell you more about that a little later, won't we, Mary?
We will. We want to see your award set up this evening. We're very nosy, aren't we?
Yeah.
Whether you're in your tuxedo or onesie or you're sat around the kitchen table with your family, we want to see how you're celebrating. Take a photo and tag us using the hashtag SCW22 on Instagram and Twitter. And don't forget to follow us on ISE in Wales, and we'll be sharing some of our best bits throughout the night. Let's take another look at our media wall. Who's been getting in touch? Who's been tweeting, Instagramming? Who have you got here?
Coleg Penabont.
Penabont. Noson anhygoel hyd yn hyn wrth i ni ddathlu llwyddiannau ein myfyrwyr. All the parties already started over there. Keep contacting us. We love to hear from you.
Yes, please.
Now on with tonight's ceremony, and the next sector is...
Engineering and technology is an exciting sector in Wales, employing over 150,000 people in a range of vocations, and this year we delivered 17 competitions with over 220 registrations in this sector alone. Best of luck to all the nominees.
Mae'r ddwy gystadleuaeth gyntaf yn y sector peirianneg a thechnoleg yn canolbwyntio ar wyddoniaeth. Y cyntaf ydy gwyddoniaeth forensig. Gadewch i ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael I henwebu. Mae gwyddonwyr forensig yn archwilio manna trosedd I gasglu, cadw a dadansoddi tystiolaeth wyddonol yn ystod ymchwiliad. Yn y gystadleuaeth yma, fydd y cystadleuwyr yn cael eu hasesu ar ei dealltwriaeth a'i gwybodaeth am wyddoniaeth forensig a'i defnydd o fewn system cyfiawnder troseddol y Deyrnas Unedig. The Bronze Award goes to Thomas Woosnam, Cardiff and Vale College.
Silver is awarded to Madison Davis, Cardiff and Vale College.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is Zoe Patterson, Cardiff and Vale College. Llongyfarchiadau mawr. Well done, everyone.
Next up, we have Laboratory Technician. Let's look at the nominations. Laboratory technicians have specialist skills that allow them to work in a wide range of organisations, including chemical and pharmaceutical. In this competition, a simulation of laboratory tasks was undertaken assessing the skills and abilities of technicians entering the field. The Bronze Award goes to Joshua Barlow, Gower College, Swansea.
Silver is awarded to Malak Alwadi, Cardiff and Vale College.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is Evan Coombs, Gower College, Swansea. Llongyfarchiadau. Congratulations to all. We will now be turning over to David Evans, CEO of Grŵp Llandrillo Menai at Coleg Menai, to announce the winners. Hello everyone at GLLM. LOL.
Hello, Grŵp Llandrillo Menai.
Grŵp Llandrillo Menai was established in 2012 as a result of mergers between Coleg Llandrillo, Coleg Menai and Coleg Meirion Dwyfor. It employs 1,500 staff and delivers courses to around 21,000 students, including over 1,500 higher education students across Anglesey, Cornwall, Denbighshire and Gwynedd. That's your territory there, is it?
Whoop, whoop, Gwynedd.
Wow.
Oh, that was a bit scary.
The group aims to support the economy of North Wales by equipping local people with the skills and qualifications needed to ensure the competitiveness and success of the region. The group's wide range of courses, high-quality learning experiences, first-class facilities and talented staff all contribute towards the achievement of these goals. Group Llanrwst Menai have enjoyed many successes with competitions over the years, reaching both the Euroskills and World Skills finals. Bunch of show-offs, eh?
Wel, skills.
Well done.
Skills. Ymlaen â ni, y gystadleuaeth nesaf yn y categori yma ydy peirianneg fecanyddol, CAD. Gadewch i ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei henwebu. Mae dylunio a chymorth cyfrifiadur, CAD, yn defnyddio meddalwedd arbenigol i greu delweddau ac animeddiadau 2 a 3 dimensiwn o brosiectau y maes gweithgynhyrchu ac i'w defnyddio mewn hysbysebion a llawlyfrau technegol. Mae CAD yn hanfodol mewn diwydiannau heddiw gan y gallu'r animeddiadau a gynhyrchu'r gyfrifo dimensiynau, goddefiannau ac atebion posib yn ogystal ac efelychu sut y bydd dyluniad yn gweithio yn y byd go iawn.
Cymraeg bendigedig.
Diolch, tocyn iaith.
Siona.
Gwynedd. Draw at y ti, Dafydd. Helo, Dafydd. Da ni'n mynd y glywed di? O! Trio eto. Na fo, da ni'n clywed, Dafydd.
Da iawn.
Dyma fi.
Da iawn. Mae allan gefn ni'n bell, Mari. Croeso i chi Coleg Menai, ato ni, i'r gystadleuaeth cyntaf, Mechanical Engineering, a'r fedal hefyd, y bronze medal, goes to Harry McLaren, Coleg Gwent. Fedal arian, silver medal, goes to Benjamin Hughes, Grŵp Llanrwst Menai. A fedal aur heno, gold medal tonight, Ryan Howells, Merthyr College.
Wel, tipyn o parti fyna hefyd. Chi gogs yn joio parti fi'n credu.
Da ni yn gwybod sydd wedi cael hwyl.
Next up, we have the mechatronics competitions. Let's look at the nominations. Mechatronics is used in everything from factory assembly lines to supermarket belt assemblies. It covers a huge range of specialist systems, including pneumatics, robotics, mechanics, programming, and system development. The competition was designed to test competitors' skills on writing and implement a program to follow a specific automation sequence. Let's head back over to the party. David, that's Coleg Menai to hear the results. Can't wait for these.
Fedal hefyd, bronze medal, mechatronics, Harvey Bourne and Oliver Davis, Coleg Cambria. Silver medal, mechatronics, Ben Robinson and Thomas Tatum, Coleg Cambria. A'r fedal aur hyn yma, gold medal, clean sweep for Coleg Cambria, Nathan Davis and Jack Lovett.
The next category is industrial robotics. Let's look at the nominations. New as well as this year is the industrial robotics competition. They install, test, program or maintain robotic installations. This competition was a two-person competition which tested the competitors on their ability to use specialist software to set up an industrial robotic cell and program a robotic arm to execute a specific task. Wow, what am I going to go with that? Now, let's hand it back over to David to announce the winners.
Category yma, y fedal hefyd, bronze medal, goes to Zach Furness Jones and Martina Duba, Bridge End College. Fedal arian, silver medal, goes to Sgiliau, Joseba and Stefan Weaver, Gower College, Swansea. Ar fedal aur, gold medal to Axel Davis and Lance Reynolds, grŵp sefyll o Menai.
Rai i chi fanna, mae hwnna wedi cychwyn y parti fanna, dwi'n teimlo. Y categori nesaf heno ydy electroneg ddiwydiannol. Gadewch i ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei henwebu. Mae technegwyr a pheirianwyr electroneg ddiwydiannol yn defnyddio offer arbenigol mewn gwahanol weithleoedd yn amrywio o'r lluoedd arfog i iechyd ac addysg. Mae'n rhaid iddyn nhw gynnal eu sgiliau a gwybodaeth mwyn cadw i fyny ar datblygiadau diweddara mewn technoleg a gallu dilyn cyfarwyddiadau manwl. Nôl â ni felly, gawn ni'r canlyniadau.
Diolch Mari. Fedal efydd i Adam Hopley, grŵp sefyll o Menai. Fedal arian, silver, David O'Neill, Gower College, Swansea. Ar fedal aur, gold medal, Dylan Phillips, Gower College, Swansea.
Diolch yn fawr, David. Thank you, David. Do you have any words of wisdom for any of the competitors watching here with us tonight?
I'm not sure I'm the one for words of wisdom, Emyr, but can I wish them all very well. Fantastic, congratulations. Please defnyddiwch hwn fel ffordd i ehangu'ch gyrfa. Use it as a springboard to your future and to future careers, and try and make that career in Wales. Use your skill here in Wales and try and develop our economy. It'd be fantastic if you can. Diolch yn fawr iawn chi gyd.
Cytuno'n bendant, Blaenoriaethu Cymru. We continue with the awards in the engineering sector. Next up is Heavy Vehicle Technology Competition. Let's have a look at the nominations. Heavy vehicle automotive technicians require a wide variety of specialised skills. They carry out inspections and maintain maintenance on large goods vehicle, test vehicle systems and diagnose faults. Today's technicians use a range of equipment to assist them in their role, from advanced diagnostics to the more traditional handheld tools. The Bronze Award goes to Kate Jones, Cardiff and Vale College.
Silver is awarded to Stephen Hill of Bridgend College and Taylor Jones from Coleg Gwent.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is David Jones Morgan, Bridgend College. Llongyfarchiadau, bendigedig.
Da iawn, rwan, ymlaen i Gystadleuaeth Technoleg Fodurol Cerbydau Ysgafn. Gadewch i ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei henwebu. Mae angen amrywiaeth eang o sgiliau arbenigol ar dechnegwyr modurol Cerbydau Ysgafn. Maen nhw'n cynnal archwiliadau ac yn gwneud gwaith cynnal a chadw ar geir a faniau ysgafn, yn profi systema cerbydau ac yn gwneud diagnosis o ddiffygion, yn ogystal â chynghori cwsmeriaid ar waith atgyweirio. The Bronze Award goes to Benjamin Devil Fote and Callum Taylor, grŵp Llandrillo Menai.
Silver is awarded to Odin Robinson, Coleg Ceredigion.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is Eric Allen, Coleg Ceredigion. Llongyfarchiadau mawr iawn. Oh, congratulations.
Da iawn, pawb. The next competition to award this evening is the Inclusive Skills Automotive Competition. Nominations are: this competition is for those working towards being part of the automotive industry. Competitors were tested on their knowledge of vehicle safety by carrying out a tyre, lighting and brake inspection, and they had to perform an under the bonnet check. Ti'n checo car ti'n aml?
Be ti'n feddwl?
Na. Ond heddiw ti wedi?
Do.
Da iawn. The Bronze Award goes to Mackenzie McNamara, Cardiff and Vale College.
Silver is awarded to Joshua Britton, Coleg Gwent.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is Lewis Troman, Coleg Cambria. Llongyfarchiadau pawb.
Nesa mae'r Gystadleuaeth atgyweirio corff cerbyd. Gadewch i ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei henwebu. Mae technegwyr atgyweirio cyrff cerbydau yn arbenigo mewn atgyweirio neu newid paneli sydd wedi difrodi ar bob math o gerbydau a'i hadfer i gyflwr diogel. Leni roedd y gystadleuaeth yn cynnwys 4 tasg ymarferol mewn weldio mig a spot weldio, gwaith llenwi a gorffennu metal. The Bronze Award goes to Bradley Watts, Coleg Gwent.
Silver is awarded to Ieuan Morris Brown, Cardiff and Vale College.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is Omer Wahid, Cardiff and Vale College. Llongyfarchiadau mawr. Well done to you all.
Now, for the Vehicle Refinishing Awards, let's look at those nominations. Vehicle Refinishing technicians access and repair paintwork on vehicles after accident damage. They use specialist techniques to prepare panels, match colours and apply paint to the vehicle, restoring it to the factory finish. The Bronze Award goes to Harry Tanner, Coleg Gwent.
Silver is awarded to Jordan Zata, Coleg Gwent.
And the mighty Gold Award winner this evening is Callum Matishok, Grŵp Llandrillo Menai. Llongyfarchiadau enfawr. Chi gogledd yn neud yn arbennig, you know.
Now for the aeronautical engineering. Let's look at the nominations. An aeronautical engineer is responsible for looking after components of aircraft and aircraft systems. They must maintain, repair, service, install and test these vitally important components. The competitors were required to carry out a panel repair task and an aircraft inspection. The Bronze Award goes to Jamie Roberts, Cardiff and Vale College.
And the Silver Award is going to Ellis Hughes, Coleg Cambria.
But the Gold Award winner this evening is Aled Jones and Joseph Fletcher, Coleg Cambria. Llongyfarchiadau mawr. Congratulations.
We will now be turning over to Coleg Cambria to announce the winners. Hello, Cambria. Oh, can't hear them. Formed in 2013 and offering world-class facilities, Coleg Cambria is a leading UK education provider, playing a critical role in the local community in improving opportunities and transforming lives. Proud to serve over 20,000 learners from its 6 sites across North East Wales, it offers a vast array of full-time and part-time courses up to higher education, plus apprenticeships and traineeship opportunities, in partnership with over 1,000 employers. Yana Williams, Coleg Cambria CEO, will be announcing the final awards in this category this evening. Next up is the CNC turning. Let's take a look at the nominees. Yn newydd eleni, mae troelli CNC, sef proses beiriannu sy'n defnyddio reolaethau cyfrifiadurol ac amrywiaeth o offer torri i gynhyrchu ran neu gynnyrch wedi gynllunio'n bwrpasol. Yn y gystadleuaeth hon, bydd y cystadleuwyr yn gweithio i frif penodol ac yn defnyddio offer peiriannu CNC i dorri, drilo, siapo a gorffen cynhyrchion a chydrannau a ddefnyddir mewn peiriannig a gweithgynhyrchu. First, it's over to you, Yana.
Thank you very much. And the bronze goes to Jack Williams, Coleg Cambria. Silver goes to Rodri Jones, University of Wales, Trinity St David's. And the gold medal goes to Rhys Vincent, University of Wales, Trinity St David's.
Llongyfarchiadau mawr. Now on to the CNC milling competition. Let's look at the nominations. CNC milling is a machining process which uses computerized controls and multi-point cutting tools to produce a custom-designed part or product. In this competition, competitors were placed in the role of the CNC machinist. Now let's hand back over to Coleg Cambria. Yana, can you please tell us the lucky winners?
Thank you. Yeah, the bronze goes to Tyler Williams Farrell, Group Llandrillo Menai. The silver medal goes to Avion Lindington, Coleg Cambria. And the gold medal goes to Alfie Salter, University of Wales, Trinity St David's.
Amgylchiadau. Y gystadleuaeth nesaf yn y sector yma heno ydy weldio. Gadewch i ni weld pwy sydd wedi ei henwebu. Mae weldiwr yn defnyddio amrywiaeth o ddulliau i asio 2 neu fwy o ddarnau o fetal. Mae weld yn cyfeirio at y bond ei hun, lle mae cryfder yr uniad wedi ei weldio yn gryfach na'r darnau sylfaenol o fetal. Back to Coleg Cambria we go. Can you let us know who the winners are, please, Yana?
Yes, of course. So, bronze medal. The welding is Brandon Nicholson, Coleg Cambria. The silver medal is for Lewis Walsh, Coleg Cambria. And the gold medal goes to Aaron Jones, Group Fodritho Menai.
The next competition tonight being awarded in this sector this evening is construction metalwork. Let's look at the nominations. Construction metal workers have specialist knowledge to understand the engineering drawings and then use them to build the structure accurately. The competitors were tested on their knowledge of how different types of steel are used and how to cut, join and weld them. Back to you, Yana, please, and can you announce the winners?
Thank you. The bronze medal goes to Ethan Griffiths, Coleg Gwent. The silver medal, Rhys Stouts, Steel for Structures. And the gold medal goes to Tom Leverett, Coleg Cambria.
Diolch yn fawr iawn, some cheering there.
Really good.
Yeah, the final awards in the engineering category this evening is Manufacturing Team Challenge competition. Let's look at the nominations. Manufacturing Team Challenge consists of a team of highly skilled technicians who this year were required to design and build their own BHS that can take 1,008mm steel balls from a start position and move them to 3 set positions. For the final time tonight then, we will turn to Yana at Coleg Cambria to announce the medalists.
Thank you. And in bronze is Russell Felwell, Charlie Jones and Kernan Lipdo, Wellpeck and Coleg Cambria. The silver medal goes to Liam Jones, Carl Evans, Thomas Fawcett, Coleg Cambria. And the gold goes to Aidan Skinner, Paddy Brack-Girdle and Kynan Smith, Group Fodritho Menai.
Ac mae hynny'n dod ar gwobre ar gyfer y sector peirianneg a thechnoleg I ben. Ac yn awr fe nawn ni symud ymlaen i'n sector terfynol heno. Yana, do you have any final words to say?
Just well done to everyone who's took part, who's really put themselves out there to have a go. These are challenging skills to deliver and, you know, really difficult competitions. And I think employers out there are looking for some great skills, some great time management, some innovation, and showing some of the things that these students are taught at the school and at college. So well done to everyone, well done for everyone taking part, but particularly well done to those who've been successful this evening, and thank you.
Endigedig. That looked good. Blue light discos and everything. Yeah. Oh. Cyn I ni fynd i'r sector nesaf, beth am I ni edrych yn ôl a rai o'r cystadleuwyr wrth ei gwaith.
Croeso to Coleg Menai, grŵp Llandrillo Menai, where some of the students are busy taking part in Skills Competition Wales. Mae cystadleuaethau ar draws 5 sector. A dwi hefyd I dod I goleg Cystadleuaeth, lle mae'r myfyrwyr a'r tiwtoriaid I bod yn brysur yn paratoi ar gyfer Cystadleuaeth Sgiliau Cymru. A dwi yma I fusnesu.
You're enjoying the chocolate in that
Oh,
you?
living my best life.
Jealous. Now then, on to our next sector.
Now we move on to health, hospitality and lifestyle. This sector is one of the biggest in Wales and covers a range of roles in different vocations, including hospitality, healthcare and fitness, along with hair and beauty through to early years. In this sector, we delivered 16 competitions this year with over 360 registrations. And this evening, we'll recognise the talent in some of these competitions. Thank you all, and without further ado, let's carry on with tonight's awards.
Let's carry on indeed. Announcing the first set of awards in this category is Bridgend College. Hello, Bridgend. Oh,
yes,
Bridgend,
that's what we're talking about.
I am. Bridgend College offers a wide range of full and part-time courses, from pre-entry to degree level in over 20 subject areas. The college attracts learners from across South Wales and was crowned UK FE College of the Year at the 2019 TES FE Awards. The college has recently opened its 30 million STEAM Academy at its Pencoed campus for courses in the area of science, technology, engineering, digital art and mathematics. Bridgend College is extremely proud to be part of the Skills Competition Wales celebration and wish all learners and providers the very best of luck. Announcing tonight's awards from Bridgend College are Simon Pirot, OBE CEO and Principal, Bridgend College, and Hugh Iranca Davies, Member of the Senedd. Felly, ymlaen â ni. Y gystadleuaeth gyntaf yn y categori yma yw'r gystadleuaeth iechyd a gofal cymdeithasol. Gadewch ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei henwebu. Mae gweithwyr iechyd a gofal cymdeithasol yn darparu gofal o safon I unigolyn mewn gwahanol leoliadau fel meithrinfa, cartref preswyl, ysbyty neu sefydliadau gofal eraill. Roedd disgwyl I gystadleuwyr arfer y barn a chymryd camau priodol I gefnogi unigolion I gynnal eu hannibyniaeth, eu hyrddas, eu reolaeth drwy amrywiaeth o ymarferion ymarferol.
Da iawn.
Na chi Gymraeg. Croeso Hugh, a wneud I gyhoeddi enillwyr heno, os gweled di'n dda.
Diolch yn fawr iawn a chroeso mawr o Coleg Berebon. What a great night it's been already. I'm delighted to move on to these awards. And the Bronze Award for Health and Social Care goes to Sean Davis of Grŵp Llandrillo Menai. And the Silver Award in Health and Social Care goes to Cerys Sloan of Grŵp Llandrillo Menai. And finally, the Gold Award in Health and Social Care goes to Sophie James, Pembrokeshire College.
Llongyfarchiadau mawr. Now, the next competition is similar in nature, but focused on entry-level qualifications. So let's take a look at the Inclusive Skills Health and Social Care competition. Here are the nominations. Health and social care assistants are vital in supporting care workers. The nature of their work requires them to have knowledge and skills covering elements of sociology, biology, nutrition, law and ethics. In this competition, the competitors were expected to demonstrate in a number of tasks while maintaining a level of respect and dignity towards the service user. So back over to Bridgend College to announce the winners for this category. Simon, please tell us who the winners are.
Noswaith dda. So the bronze goes to Chloe Davis from Gower College, Swansea. The silver goes to Dustin McCauley from Coleg Sir Gar. And also to Courtney Evans from MPTC Group. And the Gold Award, give it large, for Chloe Phillips from Bridgend College.
Wow, how about that? The next award tonight in the health, hospitality and lifestyle sector are linked to early years care. First up is the childcare competition. Let's look at the nominations. A childcare assistant is typically involved with the physical care of children. With infants, this involves feeding, changing and holding and comforting them. A bit like I do with you, Mary, isn't it? For toddlers, this may include toilet training, definitely you, Mary.
You did this in the rehearsal. I didn't think you were going to do it in the real one.
And assisting with personal hygiene, like washing hands. Back to you, Hugh. Please tell us the winners.
Well, croeso nôl, and the Bronze Award in Childcare goes to Emily Tinsley Edwards of Coleg Cambria. And the Silver Award in Childcare goes to Ethan Skye of Pembrokeshire College. Ac yn ola, wobrau gold in Childcare goes to Zoe Louise Dunstaughter of Pembrokeshire College.
Llongyfarchiadau pawb, a nesa mae'r gystadleuaeth sgiliau cynhwysiol gofal plant. Gadewch i ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei henwebu. Cynllunwyd y gystadleuaeth yma ar gyfer y rhai sy'n gweithio tuag at rôl yn yr alwedigaeth hynod werthfawr yma. Aseswyd y cystadleuwyr mewn tasga a oedd yn cynnwys creu poster a bwrdd stori ar ei hoff lyfr plant. And for the last time tonight, Simon, can you please tell us who the winners are? And I love your suits, by the way. You're looking very, very smart.
Diolch yn fawr. It's great to be in a suit and tie and not working from home in my pyjamas. I've got to be honest. It's great. The Bronze Award for Inclusive Skills Childcare goes to Sammy Jo Samuel from Gower College, Swansea. The Silver goes to Mohammed Adu Khalid from Grŵp Llandrillo Menai. And the gold, let's hear it, for Chloe Pullen from Grŵp Llandrillo Menai.
I'd be happy in pyjamas, I would. I could have done it bottom half.
Well, we can't see Simon's bottom half, so who knows?
Who knows? Maybe. Thank you, Bridgend College. It's been a pleasure having you with us. Simon, do you have any final words for the incredible talent across Wales tonight?
Oh, it's just been a fantastic evening. And after the last 2 years that our staff across Wales and our learners across Wales have experienced, how wonderful is it to be here this evening and experience this with all our colleagues and friends and learners from across Wales celebrating the hard work and fantastic achievement in the most difficult of circumstances. I just take my hat off to you all. Llongyfarchiadau mawr and all the very best and pob lwc for the future.
Ah, indeed, and enjoy the celebrations. Now on to the remaining competitions in this category. Next up is patisserie and confectionery. Let's look at the nominations. A pâtissier is a pastry chef in a professional kitchen, skilled in the making of pastries, desserts, breads and other baked goods. Competitors were assessed on a variety of tasks to demonstrate their skills on presentation, creativity and style, all skills necessary for a successful career as a pastry chef. The Bronze Award goes to Naili Jones, Coleg y Cymoedd.
Silver is awarded to Seirian de Rome, Coleg Ceredigion.
And the Gold Award winner this evening is Jack Morris, Coleg y Cymoedd. Llongyfarchiadau mawr. Well done, all involved.
Y wobr nesaf yw celfyddydau coginio. Rewch i ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei enwebu. Mae artistiaid coginio yn creu prydau, cymleth ac astrus gan ddefnyddio ystod eang o sgiliau a thechnegau. Rhaid bod ganddyn nhw wybodaeth dda am bob agwedd o'r gegin foden gan gynnwys cigeddiaeth, paratoi pysgod a phobi, ynghyd â sgilio coginio a chyflwyno da. Bach fel fi.
Modest hefyd.
The Bronze Award goes to Dylan Coleman, Coleg y Cymoedd.
Silver is awarded to Hannah Stedman, Coleg Ceredigion.
And the gold award winner this evening is Rhys Iora, Coleg y Cymoedd. Llongyfarchiadau enfawr. Well done to everyone involved.
Next, we have the Inclusive Skills Food Preparation. Let's look at the nominations. A food preparation assistant plays a vital role in a restaurant's kitchen. They are the backbone of a smooth kitchen operation. They support the chefs and ensure the kitchen workplace and equipment are maintained to the highest standards. The Bronze Award goes to Hannah Hughes, Coleg Gwent.
Silver is awarded to Damien Slaney, Grŵp Llanrwyllo Menai. And the gold award winner this evening is Courtney Windmill, Coleg y Cymoedd. Llongyfarchiadau. Well done, all involved.
Da iawn pawb.
Next, we have the Inclusive Skills Restaurant Service Competition. Here are the nominees. Restaurant Service Assistant plays an important role in the restaurant, from laying tables correctly to having excellent communication skills and a professional manner. We all remember a good and bad experience. Do you remember?
A few.
Yeah, and me. When it comes to customer service, sometimes more than the actual food and drinks served. In this competition, competitors were assessed on setting a table. The Bronze Award goes to Hayley Evans, Coleg Ceredigion.
Silver is awarded to Mitchell Bradbury, Coleg Gwent.
And the gold winner this evening is Jack Bowler, Coleg y Cymoedd. Llongyfarchiadau. Well done, everyone.
Da iawn chi. Nawr ar gyfer y gystadleuaeth nesaf ar gyfer y sector iechyd, lletygarwch a ffordd o fyw. Cystadleuaeth y gwasanaeth bwytai. Gadewch i ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei henwebu. Mae staff y gwasanaeth bwytai yn chwarae rhan hanfodol ym mhrofiad cyffredinol cwsmer mewn bwyty. O osod y bwrdd yn gywir i feddu ar y wybodaeth, helaeth am bob eitem ar y fwydlen. Nath y cystadleuwyr ymgymryd a chyfres o dasga ymarferol i ddangos i sgiliau a'i dealltwriaeth o wahanol arddulliau o wasanaeth bwyd a diod, bwyta ffurfiol, paratoi prosecco a gwasanaeth a gwybodaeth am gynnyrch. The Bronze Award goes to Adam Jones from Grŵp Llanrwyllo Menai a Vincent Price, Bridgend College.
Silver is awarded to Dylan Diamond, Gower College, Swansea.
And the gold award winner this evening is Jack Clark, Coleg Ceredigion. Llongyfarchiadau mawr I chdi, Jack, ag I bawb oedd yn rhan o'r gystadleuaeth.
I hope they all had a chance to have a bit of Prosecco themselves.
Yeah.
Very well deserved.
Chance would be a fine thing. Hint, hint.
Yeah, was ours. Now, for the final awards to be handed out this evening, we head over to our final satellite centre. What's with all these satellite centres?
I love it.
With Cardiff and Vale College. Hello, Cardiff and Vale College.
Yay!
Yeah. Cardiff and Vale College is one of the largest colleges in the UK, delivering high-quality education and training within the capital region of Wales, with more than 30,000 learners across each full-time and part-time college courses, university qualifications and apprenticeship programs. It places an emphasis on creating skilled and employable people. With us tonight, announcing the awards, are Mike James, CEO of Cardiff and Vale College, and Sharon James, Deputy Principal of Cardiff and Vale College. Dyma ni, y wobr nesaf yw'r hyfforddwr personol.
Gadewch I ni weld pwy sydd wedi cael ei henwebu. Mae'n wych gallu dychwelyd i'r gampfa a chael hyfforddwr personol I roi prawf ar ein ffitrwydd. Pan fydd ein hamser yn gyfyngedig neu pan fyddwn ni'n chael ein anodd hyfforddi ar ein ben yn hun, mae'r pobl yma yn ein helpu ni I gael y bydd mwyaf posib o'n sesiynau hyfforddi. It's over to you first, Sharon. Please tell us who the winners are.
And the Bronze Award for Personal Trainer goes to Madeleine Connolly from Cardiff and Vale College. And the Silver Award for Personal Trainer goes to Joanna Ingalls from Coleg Gwent. Woo! And the Gold Award goes to Bertie Saunders and Lynn Albert from Coleg Gwent. Well done all.
Well done, da iawn. Our next award in the health, hospitality and lifestyle sector is Inclusive Skills Fitness Assistant. Let's look at the nominations. Gyms are very busy places and personal trainers often need support in setting up sessions. Fitness assistants fill this role by welcoming clients, helping to demonstrate the warm-ups and cool-downs, and assisting with setting up and clearing away equipment. Sharon, please tell us who the winners are.
Oh.
And the Bronze Award goes to Daniel Lewis and Daniel Haynes from Coleg Gwent and Bridgend College. The Silver Award goes to Keegan Murray and Cameron Selway from Cardiff and Vale College and Coleg Gwent. And the Gold Award goes to Connor Hearn and Evan Excel from Coleg Cymru.
So look at the pawb, loving Sharon's energy.
Nice, Sharon.
She is such a mood.
She needs to join us.
Yeah, I'm vibing off her. Next, we have beauty therapist, hands and face. Let's check out who's been nominated. Who doesn't love a pamper day?
Oh, I do. I love it.
I mean, come on. A beauty therapist carries out beauty and skincare services, including facial treatments, makeup, manicure, pedicure, lash and brow treatments. Due to COVID restrictions this year, competitors were assessed on a series of tasks, including a day makeup and creme red polish to the fingernails.
Ooh.
Cardiff and Vale College, it's over to you. Sharon, please tell us who the winners are.
Right, the Bronze Award goes to Erin McCormick from Gower College, Swansea. The Silver Award goes to Tegan Macaulay from Gower College, Swansea. And the Gold Award goes to Ellie Witch from Coleg Gwent.
The next category is Beauty Therapy Practitioner, Body. Let's look at the nominations. A beauty therapy practitioner carries out beauty and skincare services, including massage and body therapy treatments, as well as makeup, manicure and pedicure. Due to COVID restrictions this year, competitors were assessed on a series of tasks, including evening makeup and French polish to the fingernails. Back to you in Cardiff. Please tell us who the winners are, Sharon.
Okay, and the Bronze Award goes to Ariana Tidbury from MPTC Group. The Silver Award to Rhiann Howarth from Coleg Cambria. And the Gold Award to Ellie Parsons from Coleg Gwent.
Felly, rydyn ni'n agosau at y llinell derfyn, ac mae'r gwobrau nesaf yn y categori iechyd, lletygarwch a ffordd o fyw, ac mae'r wobr hon ar gyfer Colir Cyfryngau Creadigol. Let's look at the nominations. Mae Colir Cyfryngau Creadigol yn gystadleuaeth newydd eleni. Mae'r artistiaid hyn yn defnyddio'r corff dynol fel cynfas, gan ddefnyddio colir a prosthetic yn fedru i greu cymeriad neu ymddangosiad arbennig. Mae angen iddyn nhw fod yn amrywiaeth o sgiliau artistiaid colir cyffredin o golir ffasiwn i golir theatrig ac effeithiau arbennig. For the final time tonight, Sharon, can you tell us who the winners are?
Yes, the Bronze Award goes to Chloe Vickery from Coleg Gwent. The Silver Award goes to Tegan Thomas from Gower College, Swansea. And the Gold Award goes to Tiana Elizabeth Roberts from Coleg Gwent. Well done all, congratulations.
And the penultimate award in the health, hospitality and lifestyle category is hairdressing. Let's look at the nominations. Hairdressers are amongst the most important people in some people's lives.
They are in mine.
And now that society is opening back up, again, even more so. Looking at the pictures we are getting through tonight, I'm sure they were very busy getting everyone ready for tonight's party. In this competition, competitors were assessed on their creativity and hairstyling techniques. Welcome, Mike. Can you please tell us who the winners are?
Yes, this evening, the bronze medalist for hairdressing is Ben Edwards from Coleg Cambria. The silver medal for hairdressing is Adrinia Costa from Cardiff and Vale College. And the gold medal for hairdressing is Amy Packwood from Coleg Gwent.
And the final award in health, hospitality and lifestyle is for inclusive skills hairdressing. Let's look at the nominations. This is an entry-level competition for competitors who wish to progress within this vibrant industry. Competitors were assessed on techniques such as hairstyling and creativity. For the last time tonight, Mike at Cardiff and Vale College, please, can you tell us who the winners are?
The bronze medal for inclusive skills hairdressing is Emily Smith, Coleg Cambria. The silver medal for inclusive skills hairdressing is Brandon Wright, Coleg Cambria. And the gold medal for inclusive skills hairdressing is Ellie Lawson, Cardiff and Vale College.
Well, that is the final award. Wow, we've reached it.
I was just getting started.
Oh, well, that is the final award for this evening, but the challenge doesn't stop here. You've all got what it takes to take the next step forward. Let's hear it from some of the competitors who have been there, done it, and worn the t-shirt.
My journey in Wales Skills has just been amazing.
It propelled me by allowing me to learn skills that I wouldn't have learned, taught me things that helped me in my professional career.
Although there was immense pressure, I think that there was definitely, a sense of achievement at the end of the day. That was the best part about it.
It was really hard work. It was quite nerve-wracking because I've never actually done a big competition before, especially where people can be watching and walking around in the arena. So I didn't really know what I was getting myself in for until I got there. That first day when I stepped onto the competition stage, I then realised that this is what I wanted to do and I wanted to show people that what was watching, that they should go for it, those young students. And I trained and trained to be the one that was selected for Kazan, and I was the one that was chosen. And it just goes to show that all your hard work and your effort that you put into it does pay off in the end.
It has helped grow my confidence so much. I've met so many new friends along the way.
When I first started competing, I never thought it would take me where it did. I ended up leaving competing, got straight into a job. I did my degree alongside working. And it's opened up a number of other doors with training opportunities and things like that for me.
When I was in Russia, I did win a bronze medal, for those of you who didn't know. And I have actually got my medal here today to show you. Just to show you that this is what you could work towards and this is what you could get.
Push, do the competitions and you will succeed. It'll propel you so far in your careers you can't even imagine. You'll end up at places you would have never thought possible.
So my advice would be, if you want to have a go, I would say just to go for it and see where it takes you and just have fun with it.
And I'd 100% recommend competing.
For any of you out there who are and ahhing about the competition, whether to take on the next step or not, I would highly recommend it. Even if you, like I say, don't go through to the next stage, or you're really struggling in training because you think someone's better than you, that doesn't matter. You should enjoy what you're doing and be the best that you can, the best person that you can be, and be proud of everything that you do.
Oh, very wise words there. Mike, how about you? Do you have any final words of wisdom for those looking to take up the next challenge?
Just to say to all the people who've been involved in competitions, just follow your dreams. Just think about what you want to do and follow those dreams, and don't let anybody ever tell you can't do it, because I know you can, because you're great, you're skills winners, and really well done to you all. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Mike, and well done to everyone involved tonight. And again, congratulations to all the winners. If you haven't yet showed us how you've been celebrating tonight, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at ISC in Wales, and using that hashtag SCW22. They might get more interesting as the night goes on.
Absolutely. Bydd pob un o'n enillydd heno hefyd yn cael cyfle i gamu i'r podiwm. Dros yr wythnosau nesaf, byddwn ni'n rannu mwy o wybodaeth gyda'n holl enillwyr cyn bo hir. Nawr, cyn i ni orffen heno, roeddwn ni am eich gadael gyda mwy o negeseuon, felly neb ragor ac oedi, dyma weinidog yr economi, Vaughan Gething.
Hello Bob, hello everyone. I'm sorry that I can't be with you tonight. I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody involved in delivering the 61 Welsh Skills competitions that are taking place across Wales this year. Tonight, a total of 267 medals have been presented, showing our continued commitment to young people and demonstrating skills excellence across Wales. This, of course, the Wales-based round of the competitions, and it brings you all one step closer to the UK finals. I have every confidence that Wales will be ably represented this spring at the UK finals. I know that 15 young people from Wales already represent the UK squad, but are competing for a place in the World Skills Finals in Shanghai later this year. I'd also like to thank everyone who got engaged this year. Over 1,100 young people. And of course, your supporters, for all the hard work and dedication in competing in and preparing for these competitions. You have made all of us so proud, and I do wish you every success in the future. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Yes, you tell him, Big Vaughan. Wise words. If you haven't already registered for this next challenge, head over to worldskillsuk.org and register yourself. Don't forget, registrations close on the 1st of April 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Skills Competition Wales Celebration Event 2022. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us, if you're still with us, of course. I think we all agree that it was a truly inspiring and long celebration of the individuals, training providers and employers who are helping to make Wales a high skills economy.
Every single person on screen tonight is making a real difference. Give us all a wave. We can still see you. Mae'ch ymroddiad, eich arloesau
Doing a runner there.
a'ch creadigrwydd yn galluogi'n pobl a'r cwmnïau yma nhw'n gweithio iddyn nhw I lwyddo mewn marchnad fyd-eang gystadleuol iawn. Thank you all for sharing this evening with us and for recognising the achievements of so many people. We hope you celebrate your success long into the night.
Yeah.
And in this more virtual world, at least some of you don't have to worry about getting home.
Yeah.
Mae di bod yn bleser cael eich cwmni chi. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Tan y tro nesa, nos da!
Nos da! Diolch pawb. Good night.